What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. We have this interesting question that we need to solve. And the question says, find the values of x given that x times x plus 2 times x plus 4 times x plus 6 is equal to 9. Now, we can't just expand like that because when we do that, it will take us half a day to find the solutions to this question. So we don't want to do that. So what do? Notice something, that this question, the left-hand side is symmetric in some way. That means it follows a pattern. Watch. We have x plus 2, x plus 4, x plus 6. And if you still want to continue, the next term would be x plus 8. The following one will be x plus 10, and so forth and so on. So if we have an expression like that, all we have to do is to pair them. But we can't pair the first term to the second term and then the third term to the fourth term. We don't do that in this case. So what we do is, since they are symmetric or they follow a pattern, what we do is we pair the first term with the last term, which is x plus 6. Then we pair x plus 2, which is the second term, with this x plus 4. That is it. Now, half of our job is done, and this is equal to 9. Very good. Now, let's expand. X times x, that will be x squared, plus x times 6, that will be 6x. That is it. So this is paired. Now, let's expand this two. We have x times x, that is x squared, plus x times 4, that will be 4x, plus 2 times x, that will be 2x, and then plus 2 times 4, that's it. And this is equal to 9. Very good. Now we can simplify this other bracket. So we have x squared plus 6x, then times, now simplifying, we have x squared plus 4x plus 2x, that is 6x, and then plus 8. And this is equal to 9. Very good. We can introduce substitution when we find something like this. So we can say, let's x squared plus 6x be equal to p. Good. That means this expression now becomes p times x squared plus 6x. This is p. So I'm going to be writing p plus 8 plus 8. Very good. And this is equal to 9. Now let's open up this bracket. So p times p, that is p squared, plus p times 8, that is 8p. And then this is equal to 9. We can quickly move this 9 to the left-hand side. So we have p squared plus 8p. And as 9 crosses to the left, it becomes negative 9. And this is equal to 0. Very good. Now notice something. This is a quadratic equation that can be factorized. So how do we factorize this? We look for two terms, two numbers to multiply to give negative 9. And that same numbers add up to 8. What are these numbers? We can choose 9 and negative 1. Why? Their product gives negative 9. Their sum gives positive 8. That is it. So we have p here plus 9. And then we have p negative 1. Very good. So we have been able to factorize this quadratic equation. So we have two cases from here. We have p plus 9 to be equal to 0, or we have p minus 1 to be equal to 0. For the first case, p value will be negative 9 when I move positive 9 to the left-hand side. For the second case, the p value will be 1 when I move negative 1 to the right-hand side. Now, remember that we said let x squared plus 6x be equal to p. So we have two values of p here. So we have two cases to solve for in order to get the values of x. So this is going to be our case 1, which is this, case 1, and this will be our case 2. Now, look at how they will look like. For our first case, we have x squared plus 6x to be equal to the value of p, which is negative 9. For our second case, it will look like x squared plus 6x to be equal to the value of p for our second case is 1. So let's focus on this first case first, and then we'll come to our second case. Very good. Now, solving for our first case, this is a nice quadratic equation. We can move negative 9 to the right-hand side so that our equation looks like x squared plus 6x. And as negative 9 crosses to the left, it becomes positive 9. This is equal to 0. Very good. Now, notice something. This is a nice quadratic equation that can be factorized. Let's look for two numbers to multiply to give 9 and that add up to give 6. So those two numbers will be 3 and 3. Good. So we have two brackets multiplying. To get x squared, we have x times x here. And let's write down the two numbers. We have plus 3. We also have plus 3. Good. Now wash equal to 0. So there are two cases from here. X plus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. For the first one, we have x to be equal to negative 3 when I move 3 to the right-hand side. For the second one, we have x to be equal to negative 3 as well when I move 3 to the right-hand side. So in other words, we can say that x is equal to negative 3 twice, right? Very good. So we have two values of x that are negative 3. Now let's move on to our second case to look for two other solutions for x. So for our case 2, we have a nice quadratic equation. But unfortunately, this cannot be factorized. So we can use the completing the square method, which is quicker. The reason is because the coefficient of x is already 1. The coefficient of x squared, rather, is already 1. And the coefficient of x is an even number. So what do? We move our constant term to the right-hand side, which we already have at the right-hand side. So no need. And then the second thing we have to do is to take note of the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is 6. We have to divide it by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Square the results. This will give 9. So we are adding this 9 to both sides because this 9 makes the left-hand side a perfect square. So this will be x squared plus 6x. Now add this 9. This is equal to, we have 1 on the right-hand side. We are also going to add the 9 to make the right-hand side and the left-hand side balance. Now, like I said, the left-hand side is now a perfect squared that can be written as x plus 3 all squared. Very good. And this is equal to 1 plus 9, that will be 10. Now, to get rid of this square, we take the square roots of both sides. So I'll take the square root of x plus 3 all squared would equal to plus or minus, I'll take the square root of 10. Now notice that this square root cancels out the square, leaving behind x plus 3 to be equal to plus or minus the square root of 10. Now to get x alone, we have to move 3 to the right-hand side. So we have x to be equal to, as 3 crosses to the right, it becomes negative 3, plus or minus the square root of 10. So there are two values of x here. We have the first one to be negative 3 plus the square root of 10. And we have the second one to be negative 3 negative square root of 10. So in total, we have 4 values of x. Well, feel free to share your ideas in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video and have learned something from this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And like I always say, Until next time, take care.